Hello everyone, this is Bradley and welcome to Crypto Daily, a roundup of all things blockchain happening every day of the week. Now today is Monday the 16th of May 2022, let's get into it. So, as you may know, Ethereum's co-founder Vitalik Buterin thinks that Terra should prioritize its small holders, those that got lured in effectively by the promises from influencers that they'd make, and he's suggesting this as part of any proposed reimbursement plan. So, as widely reported, the Terra ecosystem suffered a death spiral around May the 9th, which resulted in LUNA tanking 100% and the Terra USD stablecoin losing its USD peg. With LUNA and UST investors reeling from substantial losses, the community is now looking at ways to, reestablish the ecosystem and potentially offer relief to the many people who got burned financially. One such community proposal, assuming the USD dollar peg is eventually stabled, is to first reimburse all of the initial deposits of small UST holders to greatly improve general morale and sentiment, while figuring out how to sort out, say, the creditors and larger investors a bit later on down the line. But this won't come cheap. The payout is expected to cost between $1 billion and $1.5 billion US dollars. Buterin showed support for the idea via Twitter on May the 15th, noting that the focus should be on the smaller investors who need the money, before going a step further by suggesting that the whales should just take one for the team. While the Ethereum co-founder didn't explicitly call for regulation per se, he did highlight that potential cover, such as financial deposit insurance in the future, could be useful to prevent such circumstances. An interesting unrelated one is Singapore employment law, stronger regulation for low-earning employees, and a more figure-it-out-yourself approach for the wealthier. IMO, things like this are very good hybrid formulas. This is what he said on Twitter. Now at this stage, it's unclear if the project will be able to rebuild or if it will aim for, say, a temporary resurgence to rick up investor losses, however difficult that may be. But in a recent redevelopment, it's looking like there's going to be a $50,000 US cap on compensation per wallet, which is something to bear in mind. Financial services group Nomura has begun offering OTC Bitcoin derivatives to its clients. The trades were executed on the derivatives marketplace CME by crypto trading firm Cumberland DRW. In other news, Sam Bankman-Fried, the CEO of the crypto exchange FTX, has bought a 7.6% stake in the trading app Robinhood, and this is according to the US Securities and Exchange Commission. At over 56 million shares, this one position is actually worth around $590 million at the time of writing. Pretty mad money. Moving on, Bill Miller, the chairman of the investment management firm Miller Value Partners, told CNBC that he has sold some of his Bitcoin holdings to raise cash to meet margin calls. He didn't provide any other details than this, but very interesting nevertheless. And managed blockchain infrastructure provider QuickNode recently announced its acquisition of non-fungible token analytics platform IC.Tools. QuickNode will integrate the IC.Tools API directly into the existing QuickNode platform in order to offer analytics and other data to their users. Cool. And lastly, crypto-native market integrity and risk monitoring project Solidus Labs has raised $45 million in a Series B funding round that was led by Liberty City Ventures. And this new funding will help them accomplish new partnerships and expand their current offerings. Now, BitMEX's co-founder and former CEO Arthur Hayes should spend significantly more than a year in federal prison for failing to implement an anti-money laundering program at the exchange. This is something that US prosecutors said, according to Bloomberg. The probation office recommended that Hayes should be sentenced to 2 years of probation. Eddie Alexandre, the leader of a purported crypto and forex trading platform called EminiFX, has been charged with commodities fraud and wire fraud offenses that actually netted him more than $59 million from hundreds of individual investors. Now, he actually misdirected at least $14.7 million of this to his personal bank account and failed to invest the vast majority of his investors' funds. And his charges actually carry a maximum combined sentence of up to 30 years in prison. This is something that the US Department of Justice said. US Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell has been confirmed by the Senate for a second 4-year-long term at the helm of the US Central Bank, as per CNBC. Tether's chief technology officer, Paolo Arduino, said that the majority of its reserves are in US treasuries after having reduced its exposure to commercial paper over the last 6 months. However, he did not state what proportion was still held in commercial paper, as per Reuters. He did say, however, that the number is still going down and that a quarterly number would be available later in the month. Core Scientific has lowered its 2022 hash rate outlook from 40 to 42 exahash per second to 30 to 32, stating that it would take a more conservative approach to growing the company because of the market volatility. They actually self-mined 3,202 Bitcoin during Q1 of 2022 and currently hold more than 10,000 Bitcoin on their balance sheet. So this is important to remember. In other news, Hut8 announced that its revenue during Q1 of 2022 increased 67% to $41 million, with its self-mining operations generating about $37.9 million of revenue on 942 Bitcoins mined. The company also installed 9,592 new miners at 2 facilities in Alberta, US, bringing their total operating capacity to 2.4 exahash per second, an increase of 27% from December the 31st, 2021. But anyway, that's it for your daily roundup, and remember, we post news every single day of the week, so don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell notification so you're always up to date. And I will see you tomorrow.